Now, I know I've been complaining lately about the amount of plants that I have bringing in from outside because I've got to overwinter them inside in Ohio. But here I am making more cuttings to have more plants. So figure that one out. That maybe you as a gardener know that feeling, but I'm either out of control or I don't know. But I wanted to show you the progress of some cuttings I'd taken. This is a Swedish ivy. I hope you can see this. I'm filming it against the light in the window because I'm not sure you can see the roots unless I do. But you can see in the little bottle, those have been in there about 2 weeks, and that is positively ready to be planted. There are so many roots in there that it may be a struggle for it to learn to grow in soil. But those 2 little sections are doing so well. I think they've even put out a few little extra leaves here. But I should have some new plants pretty soon. Got too many already, but... And then in one of my big, large assortment baskets, I had Wandering Jew, the Tradescandia. And you can see that rooted very easily. Got a lot of roots there. Let me show you the top. It's growing very, very well. It's got new leaf. Here, let me see if I can tilt it without pouring the water out. But you can see that it's doing real well. New little growth coming out of the top. But it looks real good. I'll probably plant that. I might even plant it up to here so that these can grow the root, because each node will grow new roots. But that's what that one looks like. And then this one is one of my Pilea glauca. And that particular plant, if you remember it from earlier in the year, I can't get it in front of this. I've got it set up, but I have a huge plant of that. I'll just insert a picture. But this one has put in a lot of roots. You can see that. Let me hold it up against the light. We've got tons of roots. It's growing real well, definitely ready to be transplanted. I've got to get that in the soil right away. And that one is a Pilea glauca. And then this one is a peperomia. It's a Costa Rica. And I have another large version of that also that I put the cuttings. Now this has a little bit of shading of blue to it. I hope you can see the roots in there. But there are a lot of roots that have formed for it also. So it's ready to be planted. There are some new little growth shoots. Let me see if I can get this turned around. You can see the little edges where new pieces are coming out into the in the little branch nodes. Let me see if I can get that turned just right. But it's growing real well, ready to be planted. I'll put it in something tiny right now, but I'm sure it'll grow into a great big plant because the other one that I have is a pretty large plant as is. But these are some of my cuttings that I have upstairs, and I'll show you the ones I have downstairs. Let me see, I have, yes, those ones, we can do an update on the ones. I had to do a little rescue attempt on my flowering maple, the cuttings that I took on it, but I'll show you that also. Remember one of my recent videos where I took cuttings from my flowering maple. Let me update you on these. This is the one that I put in water. It's doing pretty well. I still haven't really noticed appreciable roots on it. However, by the following morning of that video, the one I put in the soil had dried up. Look at it. It almost looks like it's dead. But I took an old empty cookie jar that I had and moistened it with water, sprinkled water in the bottom, and put the lid on the cookie jar, and the thing perked up overnight. It just apparently was too much for it to be stuck down into the soil right away like that. So maybe a cutting like that is better with a little humidity. Now I can't say the same for my peacock fern, the Selaginella. Both the water cutting in it and the ones that I had laid on sale on the soil, they failed. You know, it didn't work at all, neither one. They didn't rot, mold, or anything like that. They just completely dried up. So for whatever reason, that one didn't work for me, and I thought that one would be easy to grow in the soil because it said to just reach out and root into the soil, but maybe it needs connected to the mother plant. We'll try again. But let's plant them now. Okay, I've got my plants down here, and I'm all ready to get them planted up in the pots. I have this little set I picked up at the dollar store, 3 for $1, and then that other little pot that I had from one of the other plants I've gotten, and that's what I'm going to put them in. And I'll be right back, and they'll be in their pots. Okay, I'm going to get some soil to put in there. This is just going to be a quickie. It's fairly light and fluffy, so I don't think I'm going to have any problem getting it down into the pots with the roots and everything. Okay, and then let me go back over here with my pots and get them in. Okay, first one, just going to take a second to bring, I think, this one with all of its root development. We're just going to put it down in this very loose soil, since those roots and everything are very, very, I don't know, delicate, we'll call it. And this little piece, I'm just going to press him down into the soil because I think he will root just as easily. So there's one. And then the next one, I'll do the next smallest one. That's this blue one. And it does look a lot like the watermelon peperomia. But I'm just barely going to push the soil to the side because those little roots have got to train themselves now to go through soil looking for water. Okay. There we go, that one. And then here's another one. And this one will be the Swedish ivy. Lots of roots on that. He's one of the most easiest to root. There we go. And one more. This one's probably way too big for this little pot, but we're just kind of bury him deeply. I just make a nice deep hole. And this will at least get them established. Perhaps when I replant him, I'll put him even deeper. So there's my 4 plants. And we'll put them under the lights. Put these all together. And they'll just go in under the lights over here, and we'll see how they do under the grow lights. Put them right down here. That looks pretty good. Now, then the only other ones, I'm still waiting on this one to get its leaves. I'm sorry, its roots. But I really don't see a developed root yet. Starting to get some little stalks, but that could be just one of the little branches where I tore it off. But this one down inside the cookie greenhouse is doing real good. I think he's even starting to sprout new leaves. But that's my cuttings, and that's what we have then for today. Thanks for joining me. Come back for another video.